Who is winning that AFC South? Is it going to be the Titans? Is it going to be the Jaguars? Are we going to see a repeat of what happened last time in Nashville where the Jaguars went there and absolutely destroyed the Titans? Or can Duck Hodges make his way down to Jacksonville and win a game to get the Titans into the playoffs for another year?
Here's some stats about the Titans real quick before I dive into who wins this game. When it comes to the first drive of the game, the Tennessee Titans are ranked the #1 team in the NFL as far as first drive efficiency, yards per play. After the first drive, they are dead last. And that was including with Derrick Henry, who was 30% of their offense, and Ryan Tannehill, who is no longer playing. He's shut down for the rest of the season. So now they're relying on Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
Who is not their first string, not their second string, their third string, because they're not starting Malik Willis. We go to them, who also have, Westbrook Akina and Treylon Burks and Robert Woods, who have been very marginal, I would say, at the wide receiver position. Just relying on their defense.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Jaguars, because the Jaguars, who looked dead in the water halfway through the season.
5-8.
Yeah, they're 5-8, 4-8. They're 4-8 at one point. I'm like, oh, Jags they're out. We even said, season's over. Well, here they are now. They have won 4 straight games. Trevor Lawrence has played as a top 5 quarterback, dare I say. And the Jaguars are playing the best football they've played in arguably a decade, probably since the Saxonville era. And in Jacksonville, with a Tennessee Titans team that is flailing at the whims, I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, and the Titans can be summed up this way. A great quote to sum the Titans up is, when you're fighting a man and he hits you with the last bullet in his chamber and he stands there unfazed, what do you do? Well, that bullet is Derrick Henry. What do the Jaguars do? They stand there unfazed because it's the only option for the Titans to be able to beat them. Derrick Henry rushing for 300 yards is the one bullet in the chamber. But instead, the Jaguars are going to stand there unfazed like they did when they went to Tennessee. They were unfazed when they blew them out at the Titans in Nashville, and now they're in Jacksonville with a chance to clinch when they played spoiler against the Colts. And I think Doug Peterson's going to be like, hey, man, the Colts needed one game last year to get into the playoffs. They had all the momentum. They had Josh Taylor playing at an MVP level. He was the best running back in the league. They had Carson Wentz playing pretty decent football, having one of the better stats years of his career, not turning the ball over too much. They had a pretty good defense. And then we played spoilers. We cannot let the Tennessee Titans do that to us. They can't come into our house and do that, and we're going to stand there unfazed when they hit us with that bullet in the chamber. That's how this game's going to go.
Yeah, and Vegas knows this because they have them favored at 6.5.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty rich score, honestly. I mean, basically saying the Jags won by a touchdown. I mean, I saw how the Titans played against the Cowboys. It was cute. They tried. But for a Titans team that shoots themselves in the foot with penalties... Do I really trust them where if they get an offsides call, that's going to end up in a punt?
Yeah.
I don't trust them. And I mean, it's not because I don't trust Mike Vrabel. It's that coaching matters to an extent. But when it comes to a team where you have a third string quarterback, you have third string receivers, and you're relying on a defense that's good, but not like top 5 level defense, I don't see how they have a chance in this game. In fact, do I trust the Jags to cover? Yeah. They might double their spread. I think that they could blow out the Titans. It's going to be tough. I think there's going to be some tough conversations that's going to need to be said between the Titans front office and Mike Vrabel, whether or not, I'm not saying Mike Vrabel deserves to be fired. I'm saying,
no.
Does he deserve to find another opportunity elsewhere where it's a team that isn't falling apart at the seams without a running back who's turning 30 next year? I think it's a fair conversation to have, but I like the Jags to destroy them, to be completely honest.
And I think Mike Vrabel, a good opportunity for him would probably go stay in division and go the Indianapolis Colts, turn that team around. If you can get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, draft a top quarterback, I could see Mike Vrabel being able to turn that franchise around with what he did, with the minimal help he had in Tennessee, kind of turning Ryan Tannehill into a really good guy. They took a whiff on Malik Willis and then kind of whiffed on George Pickens. I don't want to say that he's a bust, but when you compare him to AJ Brown, I mean, that's a loss on that trade. It's like you didn't replace him with someone who's higher value on defense, didn't replace him with an offensive lineman, didn't replace him with someone more talented. You drafted the same position, and unfortunately, when you trade your draft pick for a guy at the same position, you're going to be compared to him the rest of your career, and that's just unfair to Treylon Burks. So I'm not going to do that. There's a reason they fired their general manager.